For Man United, he only managed 5 goals. Not what you want from a star striker. Next up, Radamel Falcao. He earned himself the nickname the Tiger for his sheer efficiency and the way he used to pounce upon the mistakes of defenders. But at Man United, he was way more pussycat than tiger, to be honest. All he managed in 29 Man United games was 4 goals. Moving on, things couldn't have gone much worse for Jadon Sancho at Man United. Yeah, it would have been hard to outdo his Borussia Dortmund form, but 12 goals in 83 games is not great. Things got worse after a public fallout with manager Erik ten Hag. Sancho said he was being made a scapegoat. Ten Hag said there'd been a discipline issue. It all ended up with Sancho going back to Germany. Next, Erik ten Hag probably thought he was being smart in sticking to what he knew when he signed Antony from his former club Ajax. But the £86 million Brazilian hasn't really been able to hack it in the Prem. Chances are Antony's Man United days are numbered. Next, the curse of the Man United number 7 shirt. Not an easy act following Ronaldo, Cantona, Beckham and George Best, but Memphis Depay was another striker who was apparently allergic to scoring for United. He scored just 7 in 53 appearances, a huge letdown since he'd helped PSV win the Dutch league just a season before joining. Last one, Angel Di Maria was set to be United's landmark signing when he joined in 2014, but 1 season later he was already on his way out. 4 goals in 32 games was just not good enough, given he'd broken the British record transfer fee when he signed. And those are just a few examples. To be honest, the list could go on and on. Unfortunately, that's probably why Man United haven't won the Prem for a while, and why it might take a few more years before they're in contention again.
Good morning. Welcome to Early Breakfast here on talkSPORT with Adrian Flux. Insurance for the individual. Find out more at adrianflux.co.uk. We are building up to talkSPORT Breakfast back at 6 o'clock this morning with a couple of legends in the house. You'll have Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist. But on the way now, over the next hour, here's Nick Ellerby with all the details. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Shebahn. Yeah, Leeds back in the big time, back with a bang, thanks to a controversial penalty following a handball. Everton fans, guess you'll be fuming about that one, maybe about the performance as well. Yoane Wissa is having a very public breakup with Brentford, having deleted all of his pictures with the club on social media. That's when you know it's really over these days, right? If she's unfollowed you, that is the end of it. talkSPORT drives. Manchester United fan Andy Goldstein worn an Arsenal shirt after losing a bet with Darren Bent. I wonder if Ali McCoist would ever be seen dead in a Celtic shirt. Don't think that would ever happen. All of the fallout from that game coming up as well, and everything you need to know on transfers and the front and back pages.
Lovely stuff. You're listening to Early Breakfast on talkSPORT with Adrian Flux. Insurance for the individual. Find out more. adrianflux.co.uk. This Yoane Wissa story. This is how we know in this day and age. Social media, being unfollowed, being deleted. That's it. It's done. You're over. You can't go back from that. It's when you know it's really final. Well,
it's all part of the player power situation, isn't it? Because with the advent of social media, players are able to talk directly to their fans without going through intermediaries, through the club and everything else. And actually, you know, in many ways, the players would probably welcome that. But, you know, a lot of people might have reservations about how Yoane Wissa is behaving. The same with Isak. And interestingly, those two deals could affect each other this window.
I mean, it's fascinating, the players this window. I mean, don't forget Gyökeres before getting the Arsenal move. He went on strike.
Yeah.
You know, Isak, that's it, I'm done. I'm not playing for you ever again. No matter what happens, we're done here. And now Yoane Wissa, deleting them off social media, deleting the pictures in the Brentford top. I mean, that directly affects the fan base.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel for Brentford fans. Obviously, the team has been absolutely gutted. They've lost those 3 quality defenders to all the 3 Champions League favourites. They're now, you know, they've lost Mbeumo, their top scorer. Look like they're going to lose Wissa as well. Yeah. New manager. So, yeah, I imagine they're feeling pretty shaky.
You ever been dumped on socials?
I'm trying to think of it. No. I'm a bit too old for that, actually.
How old are you?
40.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I need what you're having.
Halfway to 80.
You look so much younger than 40.
Because I've avoided all responsibility until the last few years.
Fair enough. Nah, well, trust me, waking you up at 2:30 in the morning, Nick, that'll soon age you, pal.
I'm taking it on now. It's time.
Okay, yeah, so you are slightly past that age. If you've been dumped or unfollowed or deleted off social media, like Yuan Wisa has reportedly done with Brentford, then 81089 is the number. I don't think I ever got a breakup, but I do remember when I broke up with someone before. He was a right little...
I remember at primary school, I don't know if this counts, right? But, you start going out with someone and then after a couple of days, their friend comes over and says, oh, Rosalind doesn't want to be your girlfriend anymore. Yeah. I remember that, but I was probably about 8.
Yeah, at least it still happened, like, verbally.
Shout out to Ros if she's listening.
Ros is definitely over it. I remember unfollowing my boyfriend on social media when I broke up with him. I was like, unfollow.
That's the thing, right? These
days, very therapeutic. You
can't let anyone go. You've always got the social media follow, so you can't just kind of turn your back on someone unless you do that. And then everyone else knows because it's out there.
I think I remember when then I started going out with Jamie. I remember in time I was like, can you delete your ex off social media? What an utter.
Yeah, I've had the bit of that as well before.
Like, I mean, yeah. Oh, God, it's only social media. Why do we even let it bother us? But listen, this Visa story is all over the place today. More on that coming up in the back pages with Nick very, very soon. A quick glance at them for you. Back page of the Times. Romero cashes in at Spurs. Christian Romero, the captain of Spurs, now becomes the club's highest earner after signing a new contract to 2029. Back page of the Sun, that focuses on Yohan Wissa at Brentford. Wissa does an Isak, toys thrown by B's star. Guardian Sport going for plundering the Palace. Tottenham close to signing Eze as further talks are held. And back page of the Daily Mail, Leeds lift off. Late penalty gets Elland Road rocking on first night back in the top flight. And that's where we'll start this morning. Leeds back in the Premier League, back with a bang, shall we say, taking all 3 points in their first game at home to Everton. It was live on talkSPORT last night, and here's how it all went down.
Leeds are back towards the near post, flicked on by Stroud, cleared off the line by O'Brien at the far post before it could reach Tanaka.
21 shots, but could have been a few more on target. Definitely also in the offense a bit more quality.
That performance in the first half wasn't good, no.
You look at the likes of Ndiaye, Shrewsbury Hall, Alcaraz, they've not touched the ball, they've not been in the game.
Everton simply not ready for the start of the season. They look like Alan Brazil at the end of Cheltenham week, a mess.
It's a low ball into Nonto, turns, spins, hits the side netting.
The home stadium always has to be a fortress if you want to achieve anything. That
the Stack encouraged to shoot, he does shoot, takes a deflection, did it hit a hand of Tarkowski? It might have done, looked like his arms were away. Yes, it's a penalty.
Against Tarkowski's arms as close to his body as he could probably have it. I don't think it was the on-field referee, I think it was VAR who's given it, and I think that was wrong.
Metcher, the new signing, steps up, right footed into the corner, and Leeds United lead against Everton and finally have the breakthrough.
But I love that from my strikers. No, I'm having it, and then calm as you like. No chance for Jordan Pickford.
And now you're going to hear the real Leeds United fans come out. Now you're going to hear it.
I predict a riot. Welcome back to the Premier League, Leeds United. Nights like this, when Elland Road is thumping. Leeds United 1, Everton 0.
Do you know, sometimes you think, why don't you just put a sock in it, Shebs? Just stop talking so openly about things. Don't be a psycho. Don't talk about getting your husband to delete your ex off social media and then you do it anyway. But it turns out I've got good men in my corner looking through the glass today whose wives have also asked the same thing, okay? Nutter. Ding, 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 ding. Psycho alert. 81089. If you've done the same thing, that will make me feel much better about myself this morning. Okay, so let's get to the scandalous penalty in just a moment. First, we have to give the plaudits to Leeds for taking all 3 points. The first game back in the Premier League. They did command the majority of the game. Leeds fans, you can let us know how you're feeling about that performance last night. After the game, Daniel Farker told talkSPORT how important it is to pick up points at home this season.
For a newly promoted side, the home stadium always has to be a fortress if you want to achieve anything that's obvious and crucial. And we know that we have to make out of Elland Road a fortress. It was in the last 2 years, was especially in the last year. I'm pretty sure we won't be able to win each and every game like we did more or less in the last season. But to win many points at home is also decisive if you want to survive.
Yep, got it right last night. Leeds fans, are you hopeful that you can survive in the Premier League this season? Obviously, you are you realistic that that can happen as well? And what you're hoping for is 17th, good enough in the Premier League this season. It was Lucas Nemecha with the penalty goal. That was his debut for the club, I think 6 minutes on the pitch, and scored with his third touch from that penalty as well. But let's talk about that penalty call, shall we? With less than 10 minutes left, the score at 0-0. Anton Stach fired a shot. Now, I can't believe this was a penalty. James Tarkowski, he was kind of falling, leaning to the left. His arm almost totally behind his back, and the ball struck just above his elbow. I don't know what he could have done in that situation. His arms were where they are meant to be, behind his back. He was falling to the left, and maybe ever so slightly leads into it, but he was falling in that direction anyway. Tarkowski didn't think it was a penalty, neither did David Moyes. talkSPORT's Sam Matterface caught up with Moyes after the game.
I thought it was incorrect. I thought James Tarkowski's arm's as close to his body as he could probably have it. I thought if your arm was in a different position, I could understand the penalty kick being given. I don't really see how that one was given, I really don't. I don't think it was the on-field referee, I think it was VAR who's given it, and I think that was wrong.
You went onto the pitch after the game, tried to speak to the referee. Did he say anything to you?
I spoke to him in the dressing room after, and he said it wasn't his decision. He said that it was, I don't know if he was saying it was the linesman or if it was VAR, but he didn't, it wasn't, it was one of the other gentlemen in the room. I think it was one of the linesmen who spoke. So I'd be amazed if a linesman gave it from the way it was, because he didn't know the ball had taken a deflection as well. When it was shot, it took a deflection, and they said that he leaned. But please get into the rules, because I've been hearing quite a bit this weekend about people looking at the rules. I don't think there's any of the rules which say you're not allowed to lean as a football player. So I think they said Tarky was leaning, but he still wasn't getting his arm out to block it. So I don't see how they're giving that as a penalty kick.
You're dead right, David Moyes. Been in the game for many, many years, and he's not got a skibbity either what the rules are about. Not got a clue. There's no way that was a penalty. And VAR checks it and VAR gives it. How is that a penalty? And what happened in the Liverpool game with Senesi is not a penalty. And that was a clear and obvious handball. James Tarkowski's done exactly what he's supposed to do to avoid a handball being given. And they've given it. I don't get it. I've not got a clue. Good to hear that David Moyes doesn't understand it either. We had Everton fans phoning up, fuming last night, not about the penalty, more about the performance as well. By the way, on that penalty call, we're going to hear from former referee Mark Halsey on talkSPORT Breakfast with Jeff and Ali from 6 o'clock this morning to give us his thoughts on that as well. A lot of people saying it's very harsh. We'll get his opinion on that. Jack Grealish came on for 20 minutes, couldn't make the difference for Everton. Very disappointing. Troy Deeney said that they got what was coming to them, and Adrian Dudham said that Everton were like Alan Brazil on the last day of Cheltenham, which is one way to put it. But Harry the Everton fan rang Jamie O'Hara on the sports bar and he sounded desperate.
I've watched Everton for years and we've just had enough. You know, the Tarkowski handball, I personally don't think it was an handball, because he moved his arm behind his back. I don't know if it was someone on here before, but he said it before. He moved his arm behind his back and it weren't an handball. But where do we even go from here anymore? You know, with the same Everton every year. Doesn't matter if we sign Grealish or Ronaldo, with the same Everton.
Yeah, but it's a new dawn, this is. You know, you brought in Jack Grealish, new stadium.
Can I just say, sorry, go on.
New stadium, Jack Grealish.
The thing is, we've had this new dawn before. We've had one of the greatest managers of all time as our manager. And everyone was going, oh, you know, it's changing for Everton. It never changes. Since the 80s, we've never been the same. Personally, I've never seen my team win a trophy, and I've got a lot of Liverpool fans as mates. Every single year, it doesn't matter where they are, they always win something and rub it in your face. And we're getting sick of it now, do you know what I mean? Because it doesn't matter who we sign. We've had James Rodriguez, Allen. I mean, you know, we signed to Corey and we thought he was going to be great, and, you know, he kept us in the league at least. But we just don't get anywhere.
Oh. He sounds proper down in the dumps, doesn't he, Harry? 03717223344. Is it just too early to call? Is it just a sleepy start? It shouldn't be on Monday Night Football. There's turn to the Premier League against the likes of Leeds. It should be better from Everton. I thought Jack Grealish was going to bring a little bit more as well. Everton fans, how do you feel? Do you think you'll survive the Premier League this season? You've been flirting with relegation for quite some time. Like, say, new stadium, bringing in the likes of Grealish. You're hoping for a lot more. Would you take winning a trophy and perhaps being relegated? 03717223344. This is Early Breakfast here on talkSPORT. We're going to talk about the Johan Wissa situation very, very soon in the back pages. Have you ever been dumped on social media? Feel free to give us a call in the Love Hotline this morning. Just joking. This is Early Breakfast on talkSPORT. Good morning. Welcome to Early Breakfast here on talkSPORT with Adrian Flux. Insurance for the individual. You can find out more at adrianflux.co.uk. Shebahn with you here, and Jeff Selling and Ali McCoyster with you on talkSPORT Breakfast at 6 o'clock this morning. VAR, the handball rule, dominating a lot of our thoughts here this morning. We'll get the guys' opinions on that. Was that a handball from Tarkowski yesterday? I don't know anymore. I've not got a clue. What I do know is that a lot of you think I'm nuts. And that's fine. Tell me something I don't know. 81089. Good morning to somebody with no name. At least be brave enough to put your name on the message, saying asking your partner to delete your ex on social media is a definite red flag. But what about the people who keep following their ex on social media to see if their life is better than yours? You're definitely a lot more psycho than me, that's for sure. That's because Johan Wissa has reportedly unfollowed Brentford on social media. He's deleted all of his pictures in a Brentford shirt as well. Ooh, burn. That's when you know it's over. Some of your other headlines you're waking up to today. Morecambe have sacked manager Derek Adams just hours after confirming their new owners had taken over the National League club. The former Ross County boss was in his third spell in charge during a tumultuous period that saw them relegated from the Football League. Morecambe have yet to name the replacement and are due to host Altrincham on Saturday. World tennis number one Jannik Sinner had to retire ill before the end of the first set of the Cincinnati Masters final, handing the title to Carlos Alcaraz. Another one, he says. The British number one will face each other in the first round of the revamped US Open mixed doubles this evening. Top seeds Jack Draper and American Jessica Pegula take on Emma Raducanu and Carlos Alcaraz at Flushing Meadows. And Oval Invincibles are 4 points clear at the top of the table in cricket's The 100, having thrashed Southern Brave by 7 wickets. An unbeaten 50 from Sam Curran helped the two-time defending champions chase down their victory target of 134 with 11 balls to spare at Southampton. For more on our headlines, you can visit visit our website at talksport.com. And also, Spurs have tied down talisman and new captain Christian Romero to a big shiny contract. He's committed till 2029. Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent on Drive reacted to the announcement.
Good news if you're a Spurs fan. Spurs have confirmed new captain Christian Romero signed a new long-term deal with the club. The Argentinian will remain at the club until at least 2029. He was linked with the move away, wasn't he?
Atletico Madrid. And I thought if ever there was a player that matched the club, it was him.
Me too. That's great news for Tottenham. What does that tell you about a new manager that's come in and you've got a player that was hinting he was going to leave and all of a sudden he signs a new deal? That tells you that it's a good time to be a Spurs player, right?
Yeah, and of course, and I think it helps as well that he got given the armband. So that's a big thing as well. But he does look fully committed to Spurs. That. Yeah, he played well. He started off the season, I thought, played really well against PSG in the Super Cup.
Yeah.
So he's a good defender, leads by example, and he's calmed himself down. Because remember a couple of seasons ago, he was a lunatic, sent off, booked, but now he still makes one or two rash decisions, but on the whole, he leads by example and you can trust him.
Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent back with you on Drive this afternoon from 4 o'clock. Andy Goldstein in an Arsenal shirt yesterday in the show. He lost a bet. We'll tell you more about that a little bit later on. Nick is here with a look at today's back pages, more on Romero signing his new deal at Spurs.
Yeah, a bit more on that. So Christian Romero has now become Tottenham's highest earner. The Argentina centre-back he'll be the top earner because Son Heung-min's left. He was on about 200 grand a week. Harry Kane was on nearly 300 grand. We're not quite sure exactly how much he is earning, but it's got to be around that 200 mark. He's 27 now, Romero. Hard man, isn't he? And it's interesting because he was talking about going potentially to Atletico Madrid. He gave that interview over the summer with, I think, an Argentinian journalist. He said he was keen to try new places. He would love to play in La Liga. We all thought, he's off to Atletico Madrid. Very good fit for that club. But actually, seems like Thomas Frank's come in. He's given him the armband and he said, look, you are the centre of our defence and we want to keep you because you're central to my plans. So Romero's now come out and said exactly what his manager wants to hear. I'm very happy here, says Romero. For me, this club is the best in the world and it's a fantastic decision. So great news for Spurs fans.
Yeah, I mean, it is brilliant. He's a great player. I'm sure there would have been disappointment saying that he was maybe flirting with the idea of moving on before, but he's committed to the club. He's got a bouncy new cheque and on he goes to the next chapter, I guess, and hopefully taking Spurs forward in the right direction. I'm keen on Spurs this season. I said that last season, obviously, with my love for Ange Postecoglou, but Thomas Frank seems like a really good guy. And even I think the difference in Richarlison at the weekend, is he kind of got that player whisperer, man manager?
Maybe. Richarlison's hot and cold, isn't he? I like Richarlison as a human being and also as a player. He's very up and down as a player. But, I mean, you're right. Thomas Frank's very pragmatic, exactly what Ange Postecoglou wasn't. I think we'll see Frank adapting his teams depending on which opposition he's playing. They could maybe do with a bit more going forward, like they've lost Maddison, so maybe some more. Kulusevski's injured, a bit more creation up top. I think Kudus is a good addition. But yeah, Van der Ven and Romero, solid centre-back pairing. And they've also tied Jed Spence down to a new deal as well.
He was great at the weekend.
Yeah, it was really good. A lot of the back pages obviously remarking on the Wissa situation. Wissa does an e-sack on the back of the Sun Sport. We've got Wissa, I just don't want to be here on the back of the Mirror. Wissa's bees sting. I mean, that is really kind of like the lead really on the back. But something else I wanted to get into is PFA support for Antoine Semenyo after he was racially abused or allegedly racially abused at Anfield on Friday. Bournemouth are planning to bring in the Professional Footballers Association to support their winger. Merseyside police have come out and yesterday they banned the 47-year-old man from Liverpool that they were arrested on Saturday. He's been bailed on sort of conditional bail, so he's banned from all football grounds in the UK. He's also cannot go within 1 mile of a stadium while Merseyside police continue their investigation, but also kick it out, saying that these bans really aren't enough. I think they want kind of stronger punishments and people. I think we've seen in football a lot of casual homophobic abuse we used to hear at grounds has actually now you hear a lot less of it, and that's partly because there's tough punishments for that kind of thing. And I think you need to have a kind of a punishment that stops people doing this, and we need to make it clear that this kind of behaviour is not on.
All acts of racism should be taken seriously and sorted properly. I want to say that I feel this incident will maybe change things ever so slightly, because of the whole situation in itself, the way, you really have to be careful, the way it was highlighted instantly on social media, the way it was almost like the alleged person was pinpointed there and then.
Yeah, when they stopped the game, didn't they?
The way the game was stopped, the disappointment in Semenyo's face, the first day back in the Premier League. I feel this situation has really highlighted even more so racism, casual racism that people throw around at football. And this person has been made a right example of, and rightly so. So maybe people will now really think twice because of this situation. You know, this is the first time I feel that somebody's been really named and shamed, and there's pictures out there. It's all over social media, allegedly. You know, that this will maybe make people go, hold on, I can't behave like that anymore. And if I do, I will never get in a football ground again. It'll make you think about your decisions before you do something like this. And it's a shame that it's happened to Anton Semenyo. You know, Alex Scott, she did a brilliant piece on the weekend. You know, we were sitting together, I'm sure, me and Cass on Weekend Breakfast, and I was like, the amount of people were saying in this day and age, I think I was saying it myself, in this day and age, that I'm shocked that this is still happening. And she's like, are you really? Are you still shocked? Because I'm not. Yeah. She says, I'll see this piece and I'll come off air and I'll have racial abuse in my inbox.
Yeah, I mean, this is shockingly common, and we have to work together to stop it happening. I'm all for players just leading their teams off and just saying, look, we're not playing under these conditions. I would fully support that.
And that shouldn't impact the player like that, because they're doing their job, they're doing what they love.
Absolutely.
You know, but I think this situation has really hit with the nation. I think it really, really has hit, and people will definitely think twice and sort themselves out. You're listening to Early Breakfast here on talkSPORT. One more for us now?
Yeah, just finally, I mean, this is, one we've kind of got half an eye on. Jamie Vardy still doesn't have a club. Yeah. So the Sun reporting that Vardy's got his heart set on a move to Celtic, possibly an emotional reunion with Brendan Rodgers. Vardy wants to play on until he's 40. So the Sun Sport is saying that Vardy's desperate to complete that move before the Scottish window shuts. That would be quite a romantic move. I think Vardy would probably get on all right, wouldn't he? Still put him away. He's not as quick as he used to be, but...
Don't get me wrong, social media is not the place to go for, positive, reassurance. There's some negative comments on this rumour of Vardy to Celtic on social media. I like it, but I don't want it to be seen that Scottish football is like a bit of a retirement, place to go for somebody. Oh, he's 39, isn't he?
Yeah, sure, but...
And he's lost his pace.
Of course.
And he's not banging them in quite like he used to. And... I'm a Celtic fan, but I still think Jamie Vardy could do a lot of damage in Scottish football. I mean, of course he could.
Off the bench. I think he'd be useful. I mean, he can finish. But also some noise that Napoli are potentially interested. Romelu Lukaku's injured, so they need some. And actually, Italy, maybe the game is a little bit slower. Yeah. And then we also had a situation with Jamie Vardy's wife posting a picture of all their kids in Inter Miami shirts.
That was mad.
And that led to some speculation that maybe... Vardy was off to MLS. I mean, I'd love to see Messi, Suarez and Vardy, the MSV up top.
Imagine that. I mean, every time I hear Rebecca Vardy in social media, I just think of, it's Rebecca Vardy.
Yeah,
like Colleen
Rebecca Vardy's account. Her lawyers were obviously advised
this is
on
true.
that.
This is true. She was hacked that day.
Yeah.
You listen to Early Breakfast here on talkSPORT. We're talking about Celtic just now. Jamie Vardy to Celtic. Would you be happy with that? Rangers fans, you're going to hear from your manager next. You've got a big night ahead in Europe. Good morning.
Every spring, sports fans in Europe come together to celebrate arguably rugby's biggest annual tournament, the Six Nations. But why is it the home nations, plus France and Italy, and no one else? It all started back in 1871 when Scotland beat England in the very first international rugby match. A few years later, when they could field a team, Wales decided they'd host England and an idea was thought up. With Ireland keen, they formed the Home International Championship, which ran from 1883. In 1910, France was allowed to join, as they were developing into a serious rugby nation, and thus the Five Nations was born. France had an interesting history with the championship. They were actually booted out for paying their players in 1931, when the home nations were keen to keep it amateur. After World War II, though, France were let back in, but it remained a closed shop for more than 50 years. And when another country was let in, it was only really because the Five Nations hand had been forced. Italy was developing into a serious contender, beating Scotland, France and Ireland twice in the same year, meaning in 1999 officials got together and said yes to Italy, and it became the Six Nations. So what changes, if any, come next? 7 nations? 8? A promotion and relegation system? Or should we leave it alone and let it remain the great rugby tradition it's become?
Hello there, good morning. It's Tuesday, it's the 19th of August, 5:33. Early breakfast here on talkSPORT. I'm Shebahn Aherne. We're with Adrian Flux. The cover you need at a price you'll love with What's Fans and Shooter of the Year 2021. Find out more at adrianflux.co.uk. Coming up for you 6 o'clock this morning, live on your smart TV, live on YouTube, on the talkSPORT app. Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist on talkSPORT Breakfast. Our top story this morning: if you were asleep last night because you're up at this ungodly hour, then fair play to you. But you did miss a bit of a controversial moment at Elland Road. Leeds take all 3 points against Everton, the first game back in the Premier League. However, there was a bit of a dodgy penalty call, controversial, shall we call it, a handball by James Tarkowski. David Moyes, furious about that decision, doesn't understand it. Many of us don't. I mean, if the Liverpool handball against Bournemouth didn't stand on Friday night, how was Tarkowski's a handball? His hand was behind his back and he kind of was falling to the left. Anyway, it's got people furious this morning. Everton not good enough. Leeds 3 points on the board on the go. David Moyes also tried to explain why Everton haven't made many signings and having to start James Garner out of position.
Well, I think the window doesn't shut till September the 1st, so that's probably one of the reasons as well. But look, every team's going to get injuries. We've picked up a couple of injuries. Maybe other teams will get injuries during the season. We've had them for this couple of games. And look, they're two really important players for us, certainly in the back line. They give us a bit more stability, and their performances over last season were excellent. So, yeah, we had to find something else. We didn't have many choices how we were going to make it work. It didn't look as if it was going to work in the first half, that's for sure. But we got stronger in the second half, and looked as if we were going to get something out of the game.
Somebody's been in touch with us this morning. Did you really just say, would you take relegation and a trophy? That's hit a new low. Morning to the Everton fan, not happy with that comment from me this morning. Absolutely fine. But listen, some frustration from Everton fans in your first game, returning to the Premier League against a team that have just been promoted like Leeds. Why wasn't it better? Jack Grealish coming on and not making much of a difference to the game either. He only had 20 minutes. And listen, it's early days, but also I don't think that penalty should have happened whatsoever. There's More on that coming up with Mark Halsey, former referee, with Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoist on breakfast at 6 o'clock this morning. Some of your other news you're waking up to. Rangers boss Russell Martin says they have a huge opportunity to put their early season form behind them. In the first leg of the Champions League playoff with Club Brugge, the Glasgow club have drawn their opening 2 Scottish Prem games ahead of tonight's clash at Ibrox. Martin admits it's been a tough start, but can't wait to experience more European nights.
I think it would be incredibly exciting. It would help us a lot as a football club moving forward, and not just financially and all that, but what it would do for the players and their belief, and to then pit yourself against some of the best teams in the world would be brilliant.
Good luck to Rangers in that competition tonight. In other news, Newcastle striker Alexander Isak is expected to miss tonight's Professional Footballers Association Awards gala. The Sweden international has been nominated for the main prize, but might not attend the event in Manchester as uncertainty over his future at St James Park continues. I'm going to stick a cheeky little fiver on the fact that he will not be there tonight. I mean, come on now. He's not going to be there, is he? If he is, I'll eat my own fist. We'll wait and see if that happens tomorrow. And also the chief executive of anti-discrimination organisation Kick It Out wants to see consistency in the way those that commit abuse are dealt with, and doesn't think football bans are enough of a punishment. A man's been released on bail and ordered not to attend any football match in the UK after being arrested on suspicion of aiming racist comments at Bournemouth's Antoine Semenyo. For more on this story, jump onto our website talksport.com. Everton fans having a rant this morning. Don't blame you. Leeds fans, are you confident you can stay in the Premier League? 0371722 3344. We've got Michael, the Manchester City fan, with us this morning. Good morning, Michael. How you doing? Michael is falling off a cliff. But that's absolutely fine, Michael. You can call us back at any time. By the way, I don't know if you watched Drive on your smart TV yesterday, but there's a great clip of Andy Goldstein doing Drive in an Arsenal shirt, of course, known for being a big Manchester United fan. Very, very funny. You can download the talkSPORT app, by the way, and you can watch those clips there. He put on a bet with Arsenal fan and co-host Darren Bent ahead of Man United versus Arsenal on Sunday. No doubt he went on to lose the bet and had to come in wearing his rival's shirt. Here you go.
I saw enough from that game to know that I've won our bet.
Which is what?
Top 8.
No, you ain't.
You don't think United get top 8?
You lost.
You don't think... Yeah, but hold on, we were like 15th last year or 16th, where we finished.
No,
and you were knocking
10th.
on the door, supposedly.
Yeah, 10th.
10th.
You look 10th.
You don't think so?
Well, I'm still got to stick.
You do, hand on heart, you do.
No, I don't think.
No, if you could take the bet now, honestly.
No, I'm not taking it.
No, if you could, I'm not going to offer you the bet back.
No, but I'm not.
If you could take it back, would you?
Nope.
Why are you lying to?
Nope.
People who listen to this, they had respect for you before. Now they're going, Bentley's lying.
They've got more respect for you now wearing that shirt. I tell you that. Because
You're lucky it's red and white.
You know what it is? Because of where you're based as well, in terms of home. Right?
What do you mean home?
Where you live. Yeah, I'm not going to say obviously the area.
London.
Yeah, you're closer to them, so that's why you look better on you. That shirt there.
No, this is not my team, but it's a bet. I'll wear it.
Well, he stuck to his word, to be fair to Andy Goldstein. I'm pretty sure they put this bet on every season, don't they? For the last few anyway. Goldstein losing that one. A close game on Sunday. Man United fans seem to be feeling more optimistic after decent debuts from Buemo, Cunha and Šeško. But Darren Bent is telling Man United fans not to get carried away.
Did you play well? Yes. Did your new signings have an impact? Yes. But it's game one of a new Premier League season where optimism is at its most high. Now, if those players couldn't put a performance in against Arsenal at Old Trafford, at home, then there'd be something wrong with Ruben Amorim and his squad, right? Albeit saying that, that's probably the worst I've seen Arsenal play in I don't know how long, and Man United still couldn't win. So you've played well against
there were
Arsenal.
There were decisions in the game where you think, I did think that Cunha, that should have been a penalty coming from behind.
Forget the decisions.
You got to talk about decisions. That's what we do for a living for 3 hours a day.
Manchester United.
Oh, but just today we're not going to.
No, Manchester United.
Yeah,
could not be a very poor Arsenal side.
That was a good lesson yesterday. I was in the kitchen getting the kids' dinner sorted, and the two of them were going at it back and forth. I mean, I think both of them have fair points to make, but I love that most Man United fans are feeling positive about the season ahead. I don't know if you heard the caller on with Jeff and Ali yesterday, who was the most miserable Monday caller I think I've ever heard in my puff, raging about the state of Man United. Ruben Amorim's got to go. Oh, on and on he went. Listen, it was a decent start, despite it being a loss loss. Can you say it's a decent start when I lost? Well, I just have, and I don't care. I'm going to keep the positivity going. We also had a huge prediction for Arsenal's upcoming season from invincible Martin Keown yesterday. He told White and Jordan for the first time in ages, he thinks this is Arsenal's time.
I feel now, and I've never really tipped Arsenal to win the league, and it doesn't really matter if I do or not. They've got to go and do it. But I'm now feeling, Jim, that they are as close to winning it as they possibly ever can be, because of what they've added to the squad. It's never going to be perfect, but when you saw the manager having options at the end of the game there, to see Havertz, another centre-forward coming off the bench, not a makeshift midfield player having to go up front, yeah? And I thought Havertz looking sharper, the two fullbacks that came on as well. You have to argue that Lewis Skelly's Timber, they might be first choices, but they came off the bench, Jim. And that strength in depth is really good to see. It's hard for the opposition to deal with. So, he's putting the pieces together. They've just got to go and do it. But we've looked at the fixture lists, and it's like, I don't care what the fixture list says. You've got to believe you can go and win it. If you think it's against you, no, Arsenal, no complaining. Discipline has to be outstanding this year. Last year, do you remember those first few games? They lost their discipline, their players sent off. There can be no excuses this time.
Yeah, I thought he was point perfect in all of that yesterday, Martin Keown. I think it is Arsenal's time, and it must be difficult to keep yourself going when you keep finishing second. But I think bringing in Gyökeres, who Troy Deeney I think's looking and going, he's not going to do it in the Premier League. I don't know. You just never know. Also, the Eze situation, because those Spurs talks, we believe, have halted again ever so slightly. There's a video going around on social media, and I know you can't trust any videos at the minute with AI going around, but this looks official. From years ago when he was just about 19 and he was at QPR, and he was talking about wanting to play for the team that he supports, which is Arsenal. Will it happen? Will it be Spurs or Arsenal between now and the end of the window? When it happens, you'll hear all about it live here on talkSPORT. Time now for the front pages with Nick.
It's a front page throwdown.
Oh, what a move!
The front pages first on the early sports breakfast. talkSPORT.
What absolute nonsense have you got for us this morning, Nick? Front page of the Star. We've changed you. You used to be a serious journalist.
Yeah, but sometimes we just like to.
Now we've dumbed you down a bit.
So look at some of the lighter stories that are making the front pages. Front page of the Daily Star. Watch out, Your Majesty! Big cat stalked King Chaz. Are they allowed to call him Chaz?
Well, they have.
Heresy, is it? Big beast spotted prowling near Highgrove home. So a big cat apparently is stalking the countryside near where King Charles and Queen Camilla live in Tetbury in Gloucestershire. Expert Rick Minter, whose podcast features details of close encounters, including sighting near the royal estate a dog walker near Tetbury, apparently. Lovely part of the country. I've been around there. It's gorgeous. Watched a black panther cornering a fox at dusk.
What?
3 big dogs rumbled the cat, was rushed away, and the fox emerged, left the area, keeping close to the walker and her dog, seemingly wanting company for safe escort. Have you've heard about like the Beast of Bodmin Moor and stuff, haven't you?
Yeah.
So apparently there are some big cats wandering the English countryside, and there's one near Charlie's home.
Yeah. My cat, by the way, I've got a jet black cat. He's just I love him to bits. He's massive. He's eating 5 meals a day.
Well,
you could be mistaken.
Exactly. I think a big cat, if you're far away from it, you might think, I'm not sure about that.
I was at the zoo on Sunday with the kids at Whipsnade Zoo, and there were 2 hare just sitting in the grass.
Yeah.
They were massive. They looked
Not part of the...
like kangaroos.
Not part
They weren't even in enclosures. They were
hanging
just
out with the other animals.
just sitting there looking at people walking by. I was like, oh my God, why are you that big?
They are big, aren't they?
Massive.
Well, I mean, there are some of the great sites that talk about these kind of sightings, and you can see online as well things like Bigfoot as well. There's supposed to be a Bigfoot.
I've seen that Bigfoot, the video on TikTok of
wandering
going through the trees. And
exactly, yeah, right. So, well, keep your eyes peeled, especially if you're near King Charles's house in Gloucestershire.
Morning, King Charles.
Just before we get into this story about a pony kicking the booze, I'm worried about where the country's going. Service charge added to the price of pints bought at the bar.
Get lost.
This is in the Times, page 11. So for most Britons, giving a tip at the bar is more likely to mean suggesting who will win the 4:15 at Lingfield than giving the staff an extra quid or two. But, and obviously it's in London, the Well and Boot in Waterloo Station is applying a 4% service charge to drinks orders made at the bar, adding about 30p to the price of a pint.
So they can get a tip.
Well, yeah, exactly.
That
It's
goes
for the
directly
staff.
to their tips.
Now, if the companies are not paying their staff enough, that's on them. But paying service charge when you go to the bar, I mean, is this the way we're all headed?
Well, everything is so expensive these days. You can't judge people for not giving a good tip, right?
Absolutely not.
You can't. I mean, people don't tip the way they used to. And then also, like, I mean, I used to work in bars when I was young, and the tips were good. You know, like you could.
Yeah, but the problem is, people have to, you have to survive on those tips because they're not getting paid enough wages.
Another service charge, another tax.
Before I go. Dry Little Pony, a pony famous for his love of Guinness, is taking a break from the booze after tourists kept wanting to buy him a pint. So this is
Oh, you can't give animals alcohol.
Yeah, so visitors flocked to see Patrick the pony after he hit the headlines over his regular trips and passion for the stout. Owner Kirk Petrakis, 47, takes him to his local pub to socialise him. He's a therapy horse, but apparently he's had to kick the Guinness because he's a bit too fond of it.
Oh.
And there's a picture of him there on page 15 of the Daily Star. This is down in Cockington in Devon.
Of course it is. Paddy, have a whispering angel. It's kinder to you. Now you're listening to Early Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Nick, thank you very much. Coming up for you next, we're building up to a huge breakfast show with Jeff Stelling and Ali McCoy's. This is talkSPORT. Good morning. Good morning. You're listening to Early Breakfast here on talkSPORT with Adrian Flux and me, Shebahn Aherne. And the NFL is back at Wembley this October. It's the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And we've got a massive competition for you to win VIP tickets. This is absolutely epic, by the way. The chance to win 6 seats in a private box at Wembley Stadium. You've got full hospitality as well. Plus, maybe the best bit, £5,000 at spending money. Here's how you can get involved.
August 25th at 11 p.m. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. See talksport.com for terms and conditions.
You're listening to Early Breakfast here on talkSPORT. So if you went to your bed early last night, Leeds managed a win over Everton back in the big time in the Premier League. It was a 1-0 win and a controversial penalty decision, shall we say, that Nimcheka scored for Leeds. Nimcheka, sorry. And 037172233 is the number for this. A lot of frustrated Everton fans at the performance last night, but also the fact that handball against Tarkowski was given. Don't blame their frustration. However, you've got to give Leeds their due. They were decent last night. Much better than Everton, we shall see. Sam, the Leeds fan, is with us now. Good morning, Sam. How are you?
Good, I'm fine, thanks. Obviously, I love the show.
Thank you, Sam. Good to have you with us today.
I'm really happy with the result last night. I thought that Leeds were excellent. We should have won by a good couple. But, yeah, the Everton fans, I don't know what they're crying about. If it was a VAR decision for them, they would have been very happy with that decision. So I don't see why they're arguing with VAR.
You'll take it, Sam. I mean, anybody will take a decision for them if it's going to lead to them winning a game. You know, you will take it. But Sam, if that were, you know, if the shoe were on the other foot, you'd be fuming because it wasn't a handball.
But I'm being honest, being a Leeds fan, I actually see where they're coming from. Like, his hand is literally, you can see it's clearly behind his back, but like, it's, if VAR said it's a handball, it's a handball. You can't say anything about it.
Yeah. How do you think Leeds are going to get on this season, Sam? Are you confident you'll remain in the Premier League, buck that trend?
14th, I reckon. I reckon the 3 teams. Sorry about this, but I reckon Burnley, Wolves, and Brentford. I think Sunderland will stay up as well. So.
Okay, well, I like your confidence this morning, Sam. Get to work safely. Sam, the Leeds fan there, 03717223344. 14th, he predicts a finish in the Premier League this season. That'll be interesting. And doesn't know what the Everton fans are going on about. Like I say, you'll take it when it leads to a goal for you winning for your team on Monday Night Football. Everton fans, I can understand your frustration this morning, though. By the way, just an update on some of the transfers today. We understand Palace are interested in Wolves forward Hwang Hee-chan. Palace are set to appoint former Wolves transfer guru Matt Hobbs as their new sporting director, and Hobbs is pushing to sign Hwang. We're told Pep Guardiola has closed the door on Savinho leaving Manchester City. Tottenham, of course, wanted to sign Savinho in a potential club record deal, but Guardiola does not want to lose the Brazilian winger. It's reported that Napoli are interested in signing Rasmus Højlund from Manchester United. As a Romelu Lukaku, he's currently injured. We also mentioned earlier on that Jamie Vardy is maybe looking at Napoli and also looking at joining Celtic, as if he's got his heart set and going back for a reunion with Brendan Rodgers. I'd be up for that. Manchester United have told Rasmus Højlund he can go. They're expected to lose quite a lot of money on him, but the striker out of their squad. I can't help but feel a little bit sorry for Rasmus Højlund at Manchester United. I interviewed him last season and he had a really positive outlook, and wearing the Manchester United shirt is heavy. It weighs heavy on you, but he had a positive outlook, but it's just not happened for him, has it, since arriving at the club. We also understand Tottenham are confident of reaching an agreement with Crystal Palace to sign Eberechi Eze this week. My God, it's dragging on a little bit. Negotiations are being led by Spurs chair Daniel Levy, and he's speaking directly to Steve Parish. It's reported talks are expected to accelerate in the next 48 hours. Alex Crook, our transfer expert, will be on talkSPORT Breakfast with Jeff and Ali to give you all the latest on that. Tonight on Kickoff here on talkSPORT, Charlie Adam is going to be in the studio with Adrian Durham with all of the goals from the EFL and those Champions League qualifiers with Rangers at home to Club Brugge. We'll keep you posted on all of that, and also making all of the back pages today. This story going around about Johan Wissa. If you're a Brentford fan, my God, you'll be feeling it this morning. Johan Wissa has gone on social media, gone on his Instagram page, he's unfollowed the club and he's deleted all of the pictures of him wearing a Brentford shirt. That's when you know it's over, babes. That's when you know it's done, when you've been unfollowed on social media. Whatever happens, talkSPORT's Troy Deeney thinks Brentford and Keith Andrews will struggle this season.
He's not a silly man. I think he can see optically it doesn't look great. I'm actually working Brentford Aston Villa at the weekend, and this time last year that would have been a great game to go watch.
Yeah.
This weekend I'm thinking, oh my God, this could be a 0-0. So I'm hoping that hopefully they do a little bit better. But I think, for Brentford, a lot of changes. I imagine they're going to go and get 3 and 4 players in. They operate a shoestring, don't they? They don't expect to go and spend 50, 60, 70 million on players. So they're going to have to see what comes later in the window.
As I'd say earlier on, when you do unfollow somebody on social media, it can be quite satisfying. But when it comes to a relationship and a public breakup, you can also look like a total psychopath. Not you and Wissa in this situation, but I have done it before myself. Sorry, not sorry. It was the best thing for me. It's really cathartic. But yeah, Johan Wissa looks like he's out the door at Brentford, and it looks like a bit of a messy breakup as well. Still, it's good to watch. It's good entertainment for all of us, that's for sure. Like we say, that dodgy penalty call. Tarkowski giving away a penalty last night in that game for Leeds against Everton. It ended up Leeds at 1-0. Should that have been a handball? Does anybody understand what the hell is going on anymore when it comes to the rules of handball? Friday night in that Liverpool game against Bournemouth, that Snessie handball was not given. It couldn't have been more clear and obvious, but it was deemed not clear and obvious enough. Tarkowski had his arm down by his side last night. He was falling to the left. He ever so slightly leans into it, and it was deemed a penalty. Well, we heard on the Sports Bar last night from former Premier League referee Dermot Gallagher. Here's what he thinks on the situation.
I think it's really harsh, Jamie. Honestly, I speak for myself. The shot come in. I heard the VAR say it's come a long way, but I think it actually deflects off an Everton player, and that changed the direction of the ball up high. Tarkowski's got his arms by his side. It strikes him. There's no doubt about that. Nobody can argue about that. But short of cutting his arms off, Jamie, I don't see what he can do, or put him behind his back, which you're asked not to do. But I heard the VAR say the ball's come a long way and he's leant into it. So that's how they arose to that decision. When I watched it...
Sorry, John. Go on, mate.
When I watched it, I didn't think the referee was going to give it at first. And then in that hiatus, I think it's been fed in from his assistant that he thinks it's handball. So he's given the penalty, and the VAR's checked it and sided with the officials.
Did I think Tarkowski say in the interview as well after the game that the linesman had seen it as well? And he's like, he's about 40 yards away from me. I don't know how he's seen it like that. I just don't think it was clear and obvious. I just don't get it anymore. It's frustration. You're only the first full weekend and the return of the Premier League, and VAR's miles off it, and nobody can explain it. Managers don't understand it. David Moyes can't string it together. You're saying that you can't lean with your hand. Your hand's in a natural position. He's got his hand where it's meant to be to avoid giving away a handball. It's down by his side. He's fallen to the left anyway. And then they say he's leaning into it. I mean, what chance have you got? Really, what chance have you got? There's lots of frustration about this today. It will continue here on talkSPORT Breakfast, the fallout to that. They're also going to be joined by former Premier League referee Mark Halsey on the show. You've got Jeff Stelling. You've got Ali McCoist, who I believe might have some little bleedy eyes this morning. Do we have a little tired Ali McCoist? I'm getting the nods through the studio window. He slept in. McCoist, you're miles off